From the money I earned, I secretly bought food for myself, hiding it from my aunt and her family. Any remainder went into my piggy bank, which I also kept hidden. Hello there! You can call me Cleo. It's short for Cleopatra. Yes, I was named after the Egyptian queen, but unlike her, I wasn't born into a wealthy family. My parents were average people. I don't really remember much about them. All I knew was that they were teachers and they died from a school shooting incident. If you ever lost a loved one before, support my story by clicking like and hitting the subscribe button. Don't forget to activate the notification bell to keep updated with more fascinating stories like this. After my parents passed, the nearest relative that took me in was my mom's second cousin. Life with my aunt wasn't easy. Although she was my relative, she didn't treat me like family. I was only allowed to have one meal a day and was given a lot of household chores to do after school. Because of this, I grew up skinny and undernourished. When I went to high school, I earned a little money from doing errands for my neighbors. They'd give me a couple of dollars for mowing their lawns, babysitting, or walking their dogs. From the money I earned, I secretly bought food for myself, hiding it from my aunt and her family. Any remainder went into my piggy bank, which I also kept hidden. I wanted to use the money to buy a new backpack since I hadn't gotten a new one since I was 5. One Saturday afternoon, as I was walking my neighbor's dog, I passed by a shop and saw a backpack on sale for $50. I wasn't sure how much money was actually in my piggy bank, but I hurried home and counted everything that I had been putting in it for years. $40! Dang! So all I needed to raise was $10 more. I went to my neighbor's house to return his dog and shyly asked if he could lend me those $10. He was kind enough to let me borrow the money. I hurried back to the shop. On my way, I saw an old lady sobbing at the bus stop. She was dressed shabbily and carried a large old encyclopedia with her. I should have ignored her, but my curiosity got the best of me. I approached her and asked if she needed help. The old woman explained, in between sobs, that her house was burned down in a fire and she lost everything she owned. She was only able to save her late husband's favorite book. She told me that she was going to live with her daughter in the next state, but she didn't have enough money for the bus. She told me she needed $50 more and had tried asking people for money in exchange for the old book, but no one wanted to buy it. I pitied the old lady. I had the money she needed. I could help her, but I really wanted that backpack. Who knows how long I'd have to save again just to get myself a new bag? I held my breath and walked away. A few blocks down the road, I couldn't help but think about how helpless the old lady was. I will regret this, I told myself. I went back and I bought the old encyclopedia for $50. The old woman was very thankful and immediately got on the next bus. I went home with mixed emotions. I was happy that I got to help, but I was also sad that I was no longer able to purchase a new backpack. So I put the old encyclopedia with my other old things. When I finished high school, my aunt kicked me out of her house. Luckily, my employer was very kind and told me I could stay in the small attic of the store where I worked as a shopkeeper. I've always wanted to go to college, but without any money and working 12 hours a day, it was very difficult for me. One night, I rummaged through my old stuff and saw the old encyclopedia. I recalled the old lady and hoped that she was doing well with her daughter, wherever she was. I realized that the book had been with me for years, but I never actually read a word of it. So I flipped its pages for a quick scan. As I turned from one page to another, I noticed something distinct inserted in the book. It was a page filled with stamps. I looked curiously. One of the stamps showed a picture of an old inverted airplane. I didn't know what it was, but I sort of had this idea that stamps can be exchanged for money. So I took the stamp set to the auctioneer's office, only to find out that the stamps inside of that book were rare collectibles that included the inverted Jenny. The entire set was worth more than $1 million. I couldn't believe my luck. I sold the stamps and pursued a better life for myself. How about you? How have you been lucky? Share your stories with us in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends and let's get this to 1,000 likes. Don't forget to also watch the other Nutty stories.